Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stohs. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, buy one, get one half off, online shopping, free shipping. Oh my gosh, all of those things every day in our lives. How many emails do you get with new sales, new deals happening all of the time? We see it every day in our environments. So what's our problem with this? We have a society today that's addicted to materialism. When you think about materialism, think about you. Think about your shopping habits, your buying habits. Is that something you struggle with? Now, some of you may be very well disciplined to keep track of your dollars and live by a budget, and so maybe for you it's not a challenge. But others of you may have a challenge with materialism. We've talked about addictions the last weeks, and this is another addiction that is in our society today. What are you addicted to? When it comes to materialism, there's all of those types of things. When you sit here and go think, I don't really have a problem. Well, again, what is the problem? What is the extent of the problem to recognize that you do have a true addiction? When you think about materialism, is it the house? Is it the cars? Is it clothes? Is it jewelry? Is it those little gadgets, that new technology that you know every time something comes out that you're the first one that needs the next iPhone or the new Bluetooth or the new gadget of this or that or even the new app? When you think about those things, even sometimes that don't necessarily cost us money per se, but it's just more stuff, right? It's more stuff when you look on your phone and go, oh my gosh, look how many apps that I have because, oh, it's a new app for this and a new app for this and a new app for that. All of those things, it just accumulates. But materialism drives us sometimes to think about, we need more, I don't have enough. And also, when you think about it, think of our children even today. You think about school starting soon. You think about going and doing school shopping. Well, what do you really need? Do you need those new tennis shoes? And what's the latest brand? And what kind of clothes? And what kind of, jeans or shirts or whatever it might be that gets us all tied up into that? So how much of that is the true us? Why do we really go to materialism? What's that coming from? Is that really your true identity? When we think about that true identity, is your identity wrapped up in your approval? Are you seeking approval and knowing that if on the outside everything looks good, does it look like I'm successful because I have a great car? We have 2 great cars, and we have the 3-car, the 4-car garage, and we have the golf cart, and we belong to this club, and all of those things. Are we seeking approval? Is it this approval from others that we look successful? Is it because we have the best shoes, the best clothes, or the best jewelry? Because what it looks like to others. So sometimes it's when you look at that external view, you're wanting approval on the outside, when you really know that those things are all superficial. Those things are all from the outside. And really the deeper root of the problem isn't that you just like to spend money, which it might be, but really it's usually seeking approval. It's usually self-worth. It's usually concern about your own personality, your depth of not being approved, your depth of not being worthy, not being loved. And so there's a self-esteem piece in there. But we hope sometimes that when we buy those things, when we have the latest and greatest, that it covers that up. It makes us feel better. But we all know we could look online and read lots and lots of research around connectivity between happiness and wealth or happiness and stuff, and there's no correlation. There's no correlation to know that if we have more stuff, that if we buy things, it's temporary. It's all temporary. And there's studies of the poverty levels in other countries that are very, very poor, that their level of happiness is so much better than ours. And so part of it is stopping to think about that. Where does that really come from for you? Because the covering of it up doesn't help. And then you really get into sometimes bigger issues, right? When you sit and think about how much stuff you've accumulated, and then you're working around all these things that you have. When you charge things at night, how many chargers are you plugging in? Because you have all this equipment, all these technology pieces. Do you really need them all? Is it all the closet that's full, that you don't have any room in your house? Every closet and every drawer is just bulging with stuff because you're just buying things. And in those closets, you see things with tags on them yet. Why did you really buy that? So really, when you think about that, that hoarding mentality even starts to accumulate. That accumulation piece, it gets a little bit challenging, because then you're working around all these things in your life, and then it gets to be overwhelming. So maybe that relates to you. And so how do you fix it? How do you really understand what do you need to do? So it's really understanding what is the issue for you. First, we have to stop and reflect. Okay, so part of it is our society. We move quick. We have lots going on. We keep busy. So sometimes the buying is just part of that. The second thing is really thinking about when I reflect. So first, reflect. Second is, what are you reflecting upon? So you got to take some time to say, what are my patterns? When do I buy? Are there certain times that I buy? Do I buy when things aren't going well? I didn't make that sale, or I need self-worth to fill me up. And so I feel like I need freedom. I need to be in control. So I go buy. Therefore, I feel good about it. So it could be this cycle. So first, look at those things as you're doing self-reflection to say, when am I doing this? Then dig deeper and say, why am I doing this? So am I doing it consistently? Are there certain times that I do it? And then why am I doing it? What feeling am I seeking? What feeling am I seeking to fill me up, right? Is it because I'm empty and I'm trying to find something to fulfill it? And that lasts a nanosecond. And then you see it at home in the closet. So those kinds of things are things we really need to dig deep. The other thing is really thinking about your values. At the end of the day, many of us have goals, and we have values, and we have dreams that we want to maybe fulfill. Are these purchases, or this buying pattern of materialism, linking to really what we want in life? And that really goes to your values. That really goes to, is this important to me? Probably most of the time after you bought it, it isn't. Then finally, I want you to think also about the piece of how to heal. Sometimes when we're in that need of something, of being in control or freedom, how about turning that to giving back? Sometimes if we're giving back to others, we have a great fulfillment. So when we find that piece of us that's maybe a little empty, shift and go to, how do I give back to someone else versus feeling like I need to get something for me? So for positive charge this week, first I want you to think about, what is your level of materialism? Do you have an addiction? Take some time to reflect and understand what your patterns are if you do, and understand why you do it. So when we really think about our lives every day, our lives are our choices. We get the choices to make the decisions we want to make. So if we do find that we're addicted to the materialism of our world today, I want you to really just step back and really think about what you have control of. You control your happiness, and you really want to step back and understand deeply and truly what it is for you. It's probably not buying things or accumulating things. We all know that those won't last long, but really finding the true things that matter to us and that make us happy. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.